How's it going, everybody? This is Craig Bush Rocks. Welcome to my channel. Well, just waking up today, just kind of browsing some Xbox news or PlayStation news. I came across something that kind of hits home for me and stuff like that. Being a union person, I look at this one. It's like IUE, CWA, Local 436, and stuff like that. Pretty cool. But I just happened to browse and I seen something with Raven Software. So if you don't know, Microsoft laid off like 9,000 people, and Raven Software was affected by this deal and stuff like that. They had some people being laid off, but lo and behold, they negotiated a contract. I guess it took 3 years to negotiate a contract, so they got unionized. So pretty sweet. Let me bring you to a couple of articles, and we'll go through it, and we'll talk about it and stuff like that. So let me get to my other screen here real quick, like. Okay, here we go. I'm on Pure Xbox right here. Just kind of, like I said, I was browsing and stuff like that. It's like a month after Xbox layoffs, Call of Duty devs, Raven Software officially unionizes. So we'll just go through Pure Xbox and we'll just go to the actual CWA website and stuff like that. But Raven Software team behind the campaign portion of last year's Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is this week celebrating a fresh union contract that guarantees improved working conditions over at Xbox. Sweet. More game developers need to unionize so they don't get hit with layoffs and loses their jobs and stuff like that. It's kind of nice. I hear about stories about game developers working overtime and make a game, and next thing you know it, they lose their job. That's not cool. So it's kind of nice to see stories like this. It's like a guaranteed 10% wage increase over 2 years with additional raises through merit and promotion after going 18 months without a wage increase and 45 months without a promotion. Yeah, okay. Elimination of crunch time with 7-day notice requiring mandatory overtime, no excessive overtime on back-to-back weeks, flexible scheduling of overtime and no mandatory overtime any duration a majority week in the quarter. Alright, then another note. Bridging of the time workers, temporary contract employees. Yeah, here we go. Temporary or contract employees, defined job description, fair promotion process. All right. Expanded disability accommodation and layoff protection right here. Layoff protections. Including severance, recall rates, generous COBRA subsidies, and career transition services. All right. So they got a contract. Now let's go to the CWA's website. I'm part of CWA, so it's kind of, I get on there and deal a lot so I could check out things and look at news. Yeah, that's kind of nice to see that a video game software company gets unionized. So Middleton, Wisconsin today, workers at Raven Software video game studios and subsidiary under the Microsoft Activision Blizzard. Yeah, remember Microsoft bought that. Yes. Unanimously voted to ratify their first contract between Game Workers Alliance, CWA, GWA minus CWA. So yeah. Members in Microsoft, the contract builds on recent organization momentum by Microsoft video game workers organizing with CWA to raise standards across the video game industry, coming to heels of ZeniMax Workers United CWA members securing contract with the tech giant in June. So that's pretty sweet. I like that. So of course we just went through the notes on this one right here. So they got the same kind of notes right here, guaranteed wages and stuff like that. But pretty cool. Let's see what else we got here. Going from the organization sitting across the table as one of the largest tech companies in the world was a huge learning curve, but we never lost sight of what we of why and we were there. Blah blah blah. Said Autumn Prezek, QA tester at Raven Software and bargaining committee member. Pretty cool. We fought hard to raise we fought hard for raises and job structures that will finally make QA sustainable career path, and we were able to negotiate limitations of mandatory crunch. pretty cool. Ratifying this contract is a win for game workers everywhere. I like that. So that's cool. Um, I'm glad that the union stepped up and helped out these people in the Raven Software. Raven Software was able to get a contract negotiated. That's pretty sweet. So it's kind of cool to do that. Seeing stories like that after seeing so many layoffs and stuff like that. So get back to my face there real quick. But all right, so there we go. That's kind of something that kind of hits home and stuff like that for me. You know, that's cool. That's really cool seeing that. I wish more video game companies can get ratified and get a contract going and stuff like that and get unionized to protect their workers' rights and stuff. You know, yeah, you just made this game. Now we're gonna just lay you off and you're not gonna work here for no more and stuff like that. So I see stories like that all the time. I'm glad here in the U.S. at least we can unionize and stuff like that, but I'm not sure like overseas what kind of protections they got. That's one thing I can say about Nintendo. They don't get rid of their employees and stuff like they tend to keep pay them well and stuff like that. But here in the U.S. and stuff like that, and video game companies, Microsoft is we're gonna lay you off, even though we're $1 billion company. I don't like to sound harsh on Microsoft, but I'm glad that they got a union contract. Raven Software. That's a good step forward for protecting the rights for video game developers and stuff like that, and studios and stuff. But yeah, that's kind of a cool um, cool topic to talk about. Protection rights and stuff. And like I said, it's personal to me and stuff, and I like that. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you don't like it, give me a thumbs down. Comment down below what you think about that protection rights for video game people and stuff like that. And let me know what you think about that in the comments below. And make sure you subscribe, hit the bell icon, and I'll check y'all in the next video. Bye.